What if everything you've been searching for, power, wisdom, transformation, has been hidden in plain sight? The ancient art of alchemy is not just about turning metal into gold, it's about turning yourself into something extraordinary. But here's the catch. It only reveals its secrets to those who are ready. Most people live their entire lives trapped in illusions, unaware that 7 hidden portals stand between them and ultimate transformation. These portals are not physical. They are stages of awakening, trials of fire that reshape the soul. Few have dared to walk this path, but those who do are never the same. Are you ready to step through the first portal? Then stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover could change everything. But first, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button, because this knowledge deserves to be shared with those who are ready to receive it. Something inside you awakens. It's a subtle discomfort, a growing restlessness. The life that once felt predictable now seems limited, like a cage you never noticed before. This is the first sign of transformation, the realization that there is more beyond the surface. Many ignore this feeling, numbing themselves with distractions, but those who are truly ready listen. They start asking questions, seeking knowledge, and feeling drawn to something greater, something unseen, yet undeniably real. At this stage, resistance is common. The mind clings to the familiar, fearing the unknown. Doubts arise. Am I imagining this? Is this just a phase? But deep down, the pull is undeniable. Ancient wisdom, sacred texts, and hidden teachings suddenly seem to appear everywhere, as if the universe itself is whispering secrets in your ear. Synchronicities become frequent, and the ordinary world starts revealing extraordinary patterns. It's no coincidence you are being called. Those who answer the call step onto a path of no return. This is where the old self begins to dissolve, and the journey of true transformation begins. But make no mistake, this is not an easy road. It requires courage, curiosity, and the willingness to question everything you once believed. The greatest initiates of history all started here, standing at the threshold between the known and the unknown, deciding whether to take the first step, and what lies beyond that first step. A series of trials, revelations, and transformations that will reshape your very essence. But before any of that, you must ask yourself, am I truly ready to begin? Because once you cross the first portal, there is no turning back. The moment you step beyond the first portal, reality begins to shift. Everything you thought you knew about yourself starts to unravel. The ego, the identity you've carefully constructed over the years, begins to crack. At first, this feels disorienting, even terrifying. You may question your beliefs, your desires, and even your purpose, but this breakdown is necessary. To transform, one must first strip away the illusions that keep them bound to the old self. This phase is often marked by resistance and discomfort. The ego does not dissolve easily. It fights to survive. You might find yourself clinging to old patterns, defending outdated perspectives, or feeling attacked when faced with new truths. But this resistance is a sign that you're on the right path. The walls of your inner prison are shaking, and soon they will fall. Great spiritual traditions call this the dark night of the soul, a period of intense inner conflict before true awakening. Those who endure this process begin to see through the illusions. They realize that their past identities, fears, and limitations were never truly them. The mind clears, and a deeper awareness emerges. This is where real freedom begins, the freedom to choose who you become, unchained from past conditioning. It's no longer about reacting to the world, but about consciously creating yourself. Many never reach this stage, too afraid to let go. But those who do find something priceless: clarity. And with clarity comes a new challenge. If you are not your past self, then who are you? This is the question that leads to the next stage of transformation, one that requires fire, destruction, and rebirth. Because once the ego is deconstructed, the real alchemy begins. Once the ego begins to crumble, the next phase is inevitable: purification. This is where the fire burns away everything that no longer serves you. Old fears, toxic attachments, and outdated beliefs rise to the surface, demanding to be faced. It's painful but necessary. Just as gold is purified by fire, the soul must undergo its own refining process. Many try to escape this stage, but those who endure it emerge stronger, lighter, and unshackled from the past. The fire of purification often manifests as intense life challenges. You might lose relationships that no longer align with your growth, face failures that force you to change, or experience emotional upheavals that shake you to your core. It may feel unfair, but in reality, it's the universe preparing you for something greater. Think of a blacksmith forging a sword. The blade must endure the flames before it becomes unbreakable. Your trials are the same. They are shaping you into something indestructible. During this stage, resistance only prolongs the suffering. The key is surrender, not as weakness, but as an act of trust. Those who embrace the fire, instead of fearing it, accelerate their transformation. They let go of what must be released and allow space for something new to emerge. Many spiritual masters speak of this moment as the death of the old self. It's the moment when the past no longer defines you, and a new essence begins to take shape. And what rises from these ashes? A purified being ready to step into the next portal. But before that, one must learn a crucial lesson: how to balance the forces within. Because without balance, even the most powerful transformation can spiral into chaos. Emerging from the fire, you are no longer who you once were. But transformation is not just about destruction, it's about integration. This is where the real work begins, learning to balance the forces within. Light and shadow, intuition and logic, action and stillness. Without this harmony, power turns to chaos and growth collapses under its own weight. True alchemy is not just about change, it's about mastery. Many seekers fall into extremes. Some, intoxicated by newfound wisdom, reject the material world, isolating themselves in spiritual arrogance. Others become so obsessed with external success that they lose touch with their inner truth. Both paths lead to imbalance, and imbalance leads to destruction. The greatest alchemists understood this. They walked the middle path, merging wisdom with action, discipline with freedom, and the mystical with the practical. This is the key to lasting transformation. Achieving balance requires awareness and practice. It means knowing when to push forward and when to surrender, when to seek knowledge and when to trust the unknown. It's a dance, not a formula. Meditation, conscious breathing, and mindful living become essential tools. Even in daily life, small choices matter. Are you acting from fear or from wisdom? Are you chasing illusions or building something real? The answers to these questions determine your path. Only when this balance is achieved does the next portal reveal itself, the place where creation begins. Because now, with both feet firmly planted in your power, you are ready to shape reality itself. But what will you create? And more importantly, do you truly understand the power you hold? With balance achieved, a new power awakens, the ability to create. No longer bound by old patterns or unconscious fears, you now stand before the portal of manifestation. This is where the true alchemist emerges, not just transforming the self, but shaping reality itself. Every thought, every intention, every action begins to weave the future, but creation is not random. It follows laws, and those who understand them hold the key to limitless potential. The first law of creation is clarity. The universe responds not to confusion, but to conviction. Those who hesitate, who doubt their own desires, create chaos instead of miracles. This is why ancient sages stressed the importance of vision, seeing with the mind before manifesting with the hands. Whether it's a work of art, a new life path, or even a spiritual awakening, everything begins as an idea crystallized into intention. Energy follows focus, and focus shapes destiny. But intention alone is not enough. Action is required. Many fall into the trap of waiting for perfect conditions, not realizing that movement itself creates momentum. The alchemist understands that manifestation is a dance between the unseen and the tangible. They set the intention, take aligned action, and trust the process. The greatest creators, artists, innovators, mystics, follow this same pattern, turning the invisible into reality. It is a process of will, patience, and trust in forces beyond the self. Now a question arises. If you can create anything, what will you choose? Power without wisdom leads to destruction. This is why the next portal is the most sacred of all. The discovery of the Philosopher's Stone, the hidden key that unlocks the eternal within. Because true creation is not just about shaping the world, it's about uncovering the infinite nature of the self. Beyond the portal of creation lies a deeper secret, the Philosopher's Stone, the legendary key to ultimate transformation. For centuries, alchemists sought this mystical substance, believing it could grant immortality and turn lead into gold. But the greatest secret was hidden in plain sight. The true Philosopher's Stone is not something external, but an awakening within. It is the moment you realize that everything you seek has always been inside you. This revelation is both liberating and unsettling. It means there is no final guru, no magical formula, no external savior. The power to transmute, to ascend, to evolve, it has always been yours, but with great power comes great responsibility. Many fear this realization because it means there are no more excuses. You are no longer a seeker. You are a creator, fully accountable for your destiny. This is where true mastery begins. At this stage, the illusion of separation dissolves. You no longer see yourself as just a mind or a body, but as something far greater, a consciousness experiencing itself through form. This shift changes everything. Fear loses its grip, time feels different, and intuition sharpens. You begin to navigate life with an effortless flow, aligning with forces that once seemed beyond reach. This is the state of the awakened alchemist, one who no longer chases transformation but embodies it. But one step remains, the final portal. Because transformation, no matter how profound, is meaningless if it remains locked within the self. The greatest alchemists understood that their work was not just personal, it was a gift to the world. And now, with the Philosopher's Stone awakened within you, the question is clear: what will you do with it? Reaching the final portal, you stand at the threshold of something far greater than yourself. This is the great work, the ultimate purpose of alchemy, not just personal transformation, but the elevation of everything you touch. The true alchemist does not hoard wisdom. They share it, weave it into the world, and leave behind a legacy of light. This is where mastery transcends the self and becomes service. The greatest teachers, sages, and visionaries all walked this path. They understood that true transformation is incomplete if it stays locked within one soul. Whether through knowledge, creation, or silent example, their very existence became a catalyst for others. You now hold the same power. Every word you speak, every action you take, every energy you emit ripples outward, shaping the reality of those around you. The question is no longer, who am I becoming? But how will I use this transformation? The great work is not about grand gestures. It's about alignment. Living each day with intention, embodying what you have learned, and allowing your presence to be the teaching. It is about being the living philosopher's stone, turning the lead of the world into gold through your choices, presence, and wisdom. Some will become guides, others creators, healers, or silent beacons of truth. The form does not matter, the essence does, and so the journey does not end here. It expands. The 7 portals were never a destination, but a cycle, spiraling ever higher. Each transformation leads to another, deeper level of mastery. Now, as you step forward, one final truth remains. The greatest alchemists never stop evolving, because the work is endless, and the fire never stops burning. You've now seen the 7 portals of transformation, the hidden path that only a few dare to walk. But knowing is not enough. Transformation requires action. The question is, will you let this knowledge fade, or will you use it to reshape your reality? Most people will hesitate, trapped by fear and old patterns, but those who are truly ready will step forward, embracing the fire, the balance, the creation, and ultimately, the great work. So ask yourself, which portal are you standing in right now? What's the next step you must take to move forward? This journey is not about reaching an end. It's about continuously evolving, refining, and awakening to deeper truths. The alchemists of the past left behind clues, but only those who are willing to apply them will unlock their full potential. If this knowledge resonated with you, don't let it stop here. Leave a comment below sharing which portal you feel most connected to. And most importantly, subscribe and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. There's so much more to uncover, and you won't want to miss what's coming. Next, the fire of transformation is already burning. Are you ready to step through